So let's go ahead and dive into these semifinal games. Let's go ahead and start it with the Orange Bowl. We have Notre Dame versus Penn State. Notre Dame favored by 1.5. Man, gonna be one hell of a game. We were talking about this before the podcast, EJ. These two iconic historical programs coming together, clashing for the for first time in a while. This is a helmet game, as they call it. It's gonna be a great one. EJ, you go first, man. I'm curious to see what you think.
You can't overstate how evenly matched this game is. I mean, it's like two spitting images of each other. First of all, they basically have the same record. Notre Dame doesn't have a conference championship game, so they didn't have anyone to lose to in that game. Notre Dame scores 39 a game, Penn State 34. Penn State's arguably a more difficult schedule. Penn State allows 16 a game. Notre Dame allows 14 a game. Look at the leading rushers. Jeremiah Love for Notre Dame, 1,057 yards. Katron Allen on Penn State, 1,026 yards. It's like, put on a different uniform. You're the same player.
Also, Penn State has Nicholas Singleton, who also has plus 1,000 yards on the season. It's unbelievable.
Does Notre Dame? Who's the number 2 running back for Notre Dame?
The quarterback, Riley Leonard, with 830 yards.
It's in Miami, so we don't have to worry about the Arctic blast that y'all are getting. Notre Dame's favored by a point or 2 points. I always ask myself, and we talk about this every week, who's got the better defense? Who's got the better quarterback? This is a game where I don't know.
If anything, it's one team has the better defense and one team has the better quarterback.
You're splitting hairs. Like, is Penn State a better defense than Notre Dame? Is Riley Leonard better than Drew Aller? Here's the thing. I will say, I think that Notre Dame has the ability to be a little bit more risk averse in this game with Riley Leonard. I think he protects the ball. He runs it when it's 4th and 1. He's like a mini Tim Tebow. And I really love the running back. Mm-hmm. Penn State, though, Aller is a little bit better of a down the field passer. So if this game gets to a point to where one of the teams needs a 2-minute drill to try to get in position, you got to trust Penn State more to be able to do that than Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. But the question is, will the luck of the Irish keep Penn State back? Man, oh man, this is a tough game to pick. Let me tell you something, Notre Dame, you got to wear the green and gold in this game. You're probably not. You're probably going to wear navy blue, but I don't like that. I'm going to go Notre Dame in a thriller. And I'm going to go Notre Dame in a thriller. Even though if I wake up tomorrow, I can probably change my mind and say, James Franklin's going to win this. I got to go Notre Dame because I kind of feel like the ball is going to bounce off one of those gold helmets, miraculously end up in a Notre Dame catch. Penn State's going to think they're doing something, and then the luck of the Irish is going to strike. Give me Notre Dame in a thriller in Miami. Marcus Freeman gets it done.
An Arctic blast, Miami. Love to see it. Yeah, dude. Listen, I think you can look at both these games, the Notre Dame versus Penn State and Ohio State versus Texas, on run defenses. I think if you just look at the run defenses, it tells you the game. Both teams are gonna want to run the football, as we know, right? Like you were talking about. Notre Dame, you have Jeremiah Love back there, a guy that, one of the first plays in the Indiana game, just has a 98-yard touchdown, the longest rushing touchdown in college football playoff history. And then you got Riley Leonard, who's a quarterback who has 830 yards on the season, which in college football is crazy because sacks count toward your rushing yards. This guy's insane. Loves to run the football, physical. Do you remember in the last game Notre Dame played where he literally, against Georgia, where he dove for the first down over a guy like Superman, just like your hat, dove over the dude? It was insane. So yeah, absolute monster a performance by him whenever he runs the football. But here's the thing. Penn State has the 8th best rush defense in the country.
Ooh.
Notre Dame has not played a lot of big talent when it comes to defenses this year, like you talked about, their strength of schedule. So, can Notre Dame run the football a lot? Because like you were talking about, if the game's relying on can both teams or who can run the ball better, Notre Dame, just because their quarterback is able to run the ball like crazy, they have the ability to do, a read option, you know what I mean? Spread the ball out, let them run it. Notre Dame probably takes that, but if it becomes hey, Notre Dame can't run the football, can Riley Leonard throw the ball in the air consistently as good as Drew Aller? No, that's not happening. Drew Aller's the better passer down the field. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's going to happen. I have Penn State beating Notre Dame. I have them winning by over a touchdown. This is not going to be a 3-point victory. This is going to be a nice little touchdown buffer between these two teams. I really like this Penn State team. I think they match up really well here, just because, like I said, Penn State just more diverse when it comes to their offense. They can throw, they can run, and I think that's going to really benefit them in this game because either way, even if it's a rushing battle, they have Nick Singleton, they got Katron Allen. Can the offensive coordinator, though, Colton Nicky, I think his name is, can he call a good game, though? Can he rely on that run game when he needs to, unlike what happened in that Boise State game? I really hope he can, and I think he will. I think Penn State takes it, and I think they win it. So there you go.
Good pick.
We'll see, man. That's going to be a really fun game. I do want to go to that game. If I can snatch up some tickets, I might just say screw it.
I got a Notre Dame shirt.
There you go. Dude, I have some random teams as well in there. That's funny. Next one we have Ohio State favored by 5.5 against Texas. This is the Cotton Bowl in Texas. Huge game here, man. Ohio State, a team that it has just so much momentum right now. It's not even funny. The most momentum that they've had all season. You got Jeremiah Smith. You have Will Howard. You have a good. By the way, no one ever talks about this. This Ohio State defense is unbelievable, right? They've played well all season long. So they're on a roll right now with Jim Knowles calling plays at the defensive coordinator position. But then you got, listen, and here's the stat. Remember earlier I said the run defenses and how that's a big thing? Ohio State, the number 4 rush defense in the country. Texas cannot win football games because they should have lost against Arizona State when they cannot run the football, right? Quinn Ewers, this is a big game for him. Can he win without having a run game? Can he consistently pass against this Ohio State secondary, which just dominated Dylan Gabriel, right? A guy who, in my opinion, is one of the most talented quarterbacks in the country. I think the most experienced quarterback in college football history. Okay, so this is a guy who knows college ball, and they were able to dominate him. I think same thing's going to happen with a less talented Quinn Ewers, and I think I think Ohio State's going to win this game. I think they're going to cover the 5.5 as well. I think this is probably going to be a 10-point win for Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. They're going to come to Texas and take it.
Ooh, you hear that, Texas fans? We don't have a believer. This is another game that's interesting. So you got to ask yourself, in any game, how does this team, whoever that team is, how do they win games? How do they get beat? And then you have to ask yourself, Do they have the ability to do that against their opponent? So when you're looking at Texas, because we're SEC, let's talk about this. How does Texas win games? Well, typically their offense is able to have some semblance of success running the ball enough to where Ewers can get in a rhythm throwing the ball down the field. They've also had the luxury of not playing a team that can really physically manhandle them, except for the 2 times they lost. So let's analyze that. Both times that Texas lost, they were manhandled by Georgia at the line of scrimmage. And not really manhandled, but just they were not able to exert their physical dominance, and they were not able to get the offense going in any form or fashion. When you look at Ohio State, this is a team that, how do they lose? Well, they lose if they allow the other team to maintain possession of the ball, keeping their offense off the field, and taking advantage of opportunities, also turnovers. The thing about this game is I just don't I'm not a believer in Steve Sarkisian's offensive style in this game against Ohio State. I think Texas has the players to hang with Ohio State and keep this a game and keep it going, because I like that Texas defense better than Oregon and Tennessee. But when you look at this game, you've got to maintain possession, run the football. You've got a couple of really good running backs. You got Quintravion Wisner. You got Jaden Blue. Power run. I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're going to snap it to Quinn Ewers, and they're going to say, Quinn, throw it 40 times. I just don't think that's going to be a winning game strategy in this game against Ohio State. I think Ohio State gets pressure. Quinn Ewers throws some picks, and then the avalanche starts. Now, maybe you put in Archie Manning. I think you try to throw him off a little bit.
Why
Still don't
they?
think it works.
I don't know why they haven't done that against Georgia. If they would have done that against Georgia, they're winning those games, in my opinion.
And you got to do something to throw off Ohio State. And Steve Sarkisian is cool, calm, and collected. He doesn't seem to be that type of you got to do a little beamer ball. I don't think they got it what it takes. You got to try to beat Ohio State by scoring at every opportunity. Texas has shown repeatedly they do not capitalize and put the foot on the throat of the other opponent. Give me Ohio State in this one to manhandle Texas up front. And I do think Texas keeps the game relatively closer than what Oregon and Tennessee did. But I just don't see Texas winning this game. I think Ohio State is too. Ohio State football kind of reminds me of UConn basketball. They just got it figured out. And I just don't think Texas has what it takes to win this game. Give me Ohio State to cover. I could see a 36 to 24 type game. Buckeyes get it done.
Good pick. So you're going to have a Notre Dame and Ohio State natty, which once again, crazy helmet game, right? And then I'm going to have a full Big Ten championship with Penn State and Ohio State.